Tuesdays with Tony. Do our words about God reflect the truth? The book of Job is a stunning portrait of suffering and sovereignty. It all began when a wealthy, faithful servant of God caught Satan's eye. The accuser claimed Job's devotion was hollow, that it was only as strong as the hedge of blessing around him. And then God let the hedge fall. Why? Because God loved Job enough to defend his servant's honor. And when it was all said and done, God's confidence in Job was proven the only way it could be, through the fire of loss. As everything crumbled around him, Job stood firm. Then his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women would speak. Shall we receive good from God, and shall we not receive evil?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Job 2 verse 9 to 10 ESV. But that's only chapter 2. The real wrestling lies ahead, 40 more chapters of it. We're introduced to 4 men who speak, 3 older friends and a younger one. By the end, God rebukes 3 of them, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, for misrepresenting his character. Job, too, gets a response from the whirlwind. That makes 4 men who had to answer to God. But the 5th speaker, a younger man named Elihu, is never called out. He told Job plainly that demanding answers from God was out of line, but unlike the others, he never accused God of wrongdoing, and God never rebukes him. Even after that whirlwind speech, God says this: "After the Lord had spoken these words to Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temanite, 'My anger burns against you and against your 2 friends, for you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has.'" Job 42 v. That line should make us stop and think. God had just finished rebuking Job, yet he turns to the 3 friends and says it was Job who spoke rightly. Why? Because in their attempts to explain suffering, they put falsehood in God's mouth. Eliphaz declared, "Remember, who that was innocent ever perished?" Job 4:7. Bildad added, "Surely God does not reject a person of integrity, nor does he take the hand of evildoers." Job 8 verse 20. Zophar piled on, "God exacts of you less than your guilt deserves." Job 11 verse 6. Each of them, in their own way, assumed that suffering could only mean guilt. And in doing so, they accused God of rejecting Job, something God had not done. Their logic bore false witness against his character. Job, on the other hand, insisted on his innocence. He cried out for understanding. And yes, he crossed the line into arrogance, demanding a hearing before God. "Oh, that I had one to hear me! Here is my signature. Let the Almighty answer me." Job 31:35 ESV. But this is what sets him apart. In all this, Job did not sin or charge God with wrong. Job 1:22 ESV. That's the difference. Job needed humbling, but he never slandered God. And this is where the lesson lands for us. We must be very careful when we speak for God. Human reasoning loves to fill in blanks. We observe, we infer, we try to make sense of the world, and then wrap our conclusions in religious language. But if we're not careful, we'll cross a sacred line and start attributing things to God he never did. That's what stirred his anger in Job. The friends tried to defend God, but ended up misrepresenting him. In trying to explain suffering, they distorted his character. Let's not do the same. Let's be slow to speak and quick to trust. Let's honor God's holiness more than our reasoning. Let's point to his faithfulness even when we can't explain his ways. God does not sit in our courtroom. He is not the defendant. He is the creator, the sovereign, the righteous judge, and we are the created, invited not to dissect his ways, but to bow before him. His justice is perfect, even when hidden. His wisdom is flawless, even when confusing, and his character is holy, always. Let's not explain him away. Let's speak of him rightly. What helps you hold your trust when his ways are beyond tracing? I'd love to hear your thoughts.